No script, no perfect answers, just real conversations about storytelling, creativity, and the stuff behind the scenes. Welcome to Unscripted with Ali and Ben.
Pick up the phone, damn. Yeah, pick up the phone.
I do want to expand on UGC for a second, just because people may not know what that is. They hear it, but they're like, I don't know what that is. So UGC is user-generated content. And when we talk about a story, you and I talked about beginning, middle, and an end, which is also how it's related to the funnel, which is believe, connect, and validate. And UGC is at the end because it's showing the user perspective. And why that matters when it relates to social media content is people always like to see themselves in the shoes of the piece of content. And they want to know what it's like to be there before they're actually there. Like, have you ever looked at a location on the map and kind of driven by it before you ever actually step foot in there, just to make sure you know, where do I park? How long did it take me to get there?
Yep.
What does it look like? That's kind of what UGC does on social media, is it kind of allows the audience to do a drive-by and be like, oh, what is this about? Before they ever step foot in there. And I only want to talk about that because I do think that it's important for brands to showcase that. I think that often they do get lost in their content calendar of just polished or just lo-fi content, because as the brand owner, they can take that content. In UGC, you do need an outside person to take that content, but it is very important to showcase what it's going to look like from your customer's perspective in order to validate your business. So I just wanted to expand on that a little bit because I know I didn't in the master class because I was nervous.
Yeah, you did great though.
Thank you. So did you.
What I think is really important too, going off of what you're saying with UGC, is that what you're doing when you share user-generated content is you're telling your customers, and your customers can see, a person like me trusts them.
Yes.
So the psychology behind it is that, I don't know why this comes to mind here. This is so bad. We're not going to use this, but if you see a truck or a van that says free candy, you're probably not going to go to that van. But if you see a bunch of people around that van going to get free candy, then you're like, okay, it's safe to go get the free candy.
I mean, like an ice cream truck.
Yes.
They look sketchy unless there's people around it buying the ice cream. I think we could use that. That's funny. I like that example. That's really good because I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So UGC is that, in my mind, is that it's what it communicates is people like me enjoy their product and are getting the service that they've said they give. And it's not promotional in that way of we take care of our customers. It's the customer saying they do take care of us.
Yeah.
And so that's why user-generated content is so important, and honestly why I'm still huge on Yelp reviews. I leave Yelp reviews or Google reviews. I was at Lowe's down in California while I was over there the weekend to get some material to fix a cabinet door, and the service I got there, because I went up looking at the boxes, and I don't know if you ever buy anything at Lowe's, but sometimes it's just scattered.
Okay.
And the person who was in the aisle, the associate, came over, helped me, looked through the boxes, informed me about what I needed, because I don't know. All I know is that I need to replace this hinge, but I don't know, is it a full, is it a half? They're throwing language at me that I don't understand, but they were patient with me and helped me do that. I left them a great review because I think it's important that when businesses do good by the customer, that as a customer, we share that experience with other customers.
I agree.
And that's what UGC is. It's a video version of a review.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm going to go off on a wild tangent right now, so we can use this, but we can totally scrap it.
Yeah.
That just got me thinking when you said people want to see themselves in that content, in using that product or service. And that's why all of this, it's full circle. I feel like Charlie and It's Always Sunny, where he's in front of the board because it's all connected, but it is, because this is still storytelling, even though it's not the brand owner telling it. And with that, I mean, like, your target audience it can be completely different than this other person's target audience, and that's fine. But either way, I think the goal would be always to like expand that audience in some way or another. You're never going to expand that audience unless someone is like, oh, like, I look like them, I act like them, I hold those same values, I can see myself there. Going back to the Lowe's example, I'm not somebody who shops at Lowe's, not because I can't, but I'm like, why would I want to? If I saw something online of a woman like my age shopping in Lowe's, just very authentically, I'm going to Lowe's for this random thing, thought about going somewhere else, but I wanted to go with Lowe's and I had a great experience, I would be more likely to go to Lowe's as opposed to somewhere else, because now I can see myself there. Now I know exactly how I would be treated there by like the same people that were there. And I just think that that's really important, because sometimes that can get lost on brands of like, of course somebody needs a screw and a piece of wood. Why wouldn't they come to Lowe's? I don't know what they sell. But it's like more than that, and like everything is more deep than that, and also unserious at the same time. But like that's why it's so important to like have people who look like your target audience, who act like your target audience for that UGC. And I know I went on a tangent.
No, you're
good.
But
I just think that that's really important, especially in this day and age.